Hey YouTube, what's going on?
What's up, everybody? It's the first video on my channel, and what we're going to do is we're going to do WrestleMania 34 predictions.
Yeah, so I can't wait.
So, at first, I'll name off the two Battle Royals. I don't know all the participants in either, so I'm just going to say for the women's one, I would say it's going to be between, I would say probably Bailey or Sasha, maybe, that wins.
I don't know. I think for some reason Sasha's gonna win. I think she's a little bit more.
I think it's got to be either one of those two because
feisty.
it's got to be either one of those two because it's been so center focused on them since Elimination Chamber. They've been going back and forth the last couple of weeks, ignoring each other, attacking each other in the back, kind of blowing each other off, kind of thing. I don't know who's all in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I've heard other people say that Matt Hardy should be the one to win it. Probably because I don't really know who's all in the match. So I'll go with Matt Hardy because I don't really know. I tried Googling who's all in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. To be honest, I don't. It's really just a bathroom break match because the trophy's so meaningless. It's supposed to put over a new guy every year, but they don't. The guy wins and then he's off TV for like 3 months. So it's pretty much a pointless. It's a throwaway match.
Well, not just that, but Matt Hardy. You have to remember he has experience with all those like ladder matches and jumping off of high heights. I mean, he can spin around in the air and everything.
Well, he's not the same Matt Hardy anymore either. He's the character he was over in Impact.
Well, now they got him looking crazy. Now they got him with looking all old and frizzled hair. But I mean,
he's woken Matt Hardy. They can't use broken for whatever reason. Even though he's got the full rights and the full trademark, they can't use that. So he's woken Matt Hardy instead of broken Matt Hardy. But it's the same gimmick. But this one's probably another bathroom break match. The tournament for the vacated Cruiserweight Championship. The Cruiserweights and Mids aren't over on television enough. I mean, every time I see highlights, the crowd is just dead in the arena, just doesn't care. I think it's probably going to be Cedric Alexander who wins. Ultimately, he was supposed to get it. He was supposed to get it back at the Royal Rumble, but then the whole thing with Enzo happened. They fired him. Title's been vacated ever since. So I think Cedric Alexander gets the title.
Who's the next one?
Let's see. I'll leave the two world title matches for last. But the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship between the champion, The Miz, versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I have Finn Balor winning the title because I think when they do the shake-up the week after Mania, I think Rollins is going to SmackDown. I really think that they're going to shake it up. They're going to send Rollins to SmackDown. They're going to switch a lot of things up. So I have Balor winning for that reason.
I don't know too much about that guy, Bowens, whatever his name is. Balor, his name.
Well, you don't know much about any of the guys on there today. You hardly can recognize anybody.
See, I like the old school wrestling and
I do too. To be honest, guys, I don't really watch
2000s.
Yeah, I do too. To be honest, guys, I don't really even watch any of this stuff anymore. I just kind of watch the clips on YouTube. That's the only reason why I still know of it and everything. So I'm still a fan. I'm not a fan of the product.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed the days where there was Hulk Hogan, there was Stone Cold Steve Austin, there was when Triple H was younger and long hair. I liked it then. It wasn't so PC. You know what I mean? And not just that. But it was just different. They had more triple threat matches. They had what is that one hardcore match where they can beat each other in street fights and everything.
Yeah,
now you can't even do that anymore.
They don't have hardcore matches anymore.
I'm about to turn this
light. It's all the concussions.
But yeah, you can't.
But who are you picking to win between Balor, Miz, or Rollins to be the Intercontinental Champion? Who do you pick to win?
What's the names again?
Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz.
Oh, and I've heard of Seth Rollins, and I think Seth Rollins is going to win.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I got Balor because I think Rollins. I think the superstar shakeup, switching the rosters up. They do this every year. It's an annual thing. They did this back in the day, but it was a draft back then when they were doing it back in the day after WrestleMania. If everybody remembers back in the day, Triple H was supposed to go to SmackDown. That didn't happen. They sent Booker T and the Dudleys to SmackDown and kept him on Raw. But I think Balor just wins for that reason. 'Cause I think Rollins, he's hands down going to SmackDown. He's been on Raw since they did the brand split a year and a half ago. He hasn't moved. There's a couple other names that haven't moved either, like Reigns, but that's a whole nother. We'll get into Roman Reigns in a little bit. The next match, I think this is a match. This probably has the least amount of care. I really think the fans can care less for this match. It's the Fatal 4-Way for SmackDown's United States Championship. Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev. That one is tough. I don't think they put the title back on Bobby Roode. He just dropped it to Orton. I hate to say it, but I'm thinking it's going to be Rusev. I think Rusev gets the title.
Oh,
it's kind of weird that they add him in the match.
I'm not crazy about that match there. I don't know too much about those guys.
Yeah, it's I think it's a throwaway match, and I think WWE probably could have put something better. But maybe they're trying to hype it up more. Like, why would you have a triple threat Intercontinental and then the same thing for the U.S.? So I think they threw Rusev in there just to make it's something different. It's not like, oh, well, Raw's got a triple threat for their title. So SmackDown does a 4-way for their mid-card title. Next we got Raw Women's Championship. It's Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, former best friends. Alexa Bliss lately made some comments like in recent videos on on WWE's channel on Raw and everything. It's leading to like a match. I mean, it was kind of a quick thing. I mean, it was just a couple weeks ago that this match was just put on the card. It's not like it was something that was built up for months. But I think Nia Jax is going to win. I think she's going to win the title. I think Bliss has been champion since August, so I think the title's coming off her. It's going to go to Nia Jax. They're going to see if Nia Jax can gain any interest from the fans as a champion. See if she draws. And I think that's pretty much it. So who do you think wins?
Out of
Nia Jax or
Which
Alexa
ones?
Bliss?
Yeah,
Nia Jax or Alexa Bliss.
I'd be honest with you, they're not crazy about neither one of those two people's there, those two women. But for some reason, I think Alexa Bliss is going to win. I don't know why. There's just something about her. Like, I feel like she's going to be the one that's going to get it, the women's title. But Nia Jax, I'm not crazy about her too much either. But I don't know. I just think Alexa Bliss is going to win. I don't know. There's just something about her, that I just feel like I have this feeling that she's going to end up with the title.
I think, too, in SmackDown's Women's Championship, it's Charlotte versus the first ever Women's Royal Rumble winner, Asuka. Asuka's undefeated streak obviously on the line, not just Charlotte's Women's Championship, but I'm going to throw a curveball here, and I'm going to say Charlotte Flair beats Asuka. Or no, Asuka will beat Charlotte Flair and keep the streak, at least for another month. I mean, because who knows where they're going to go with the streak, how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
Ric Flair's daughter, I mean, I don't know. She's great at what she does, but I think it's been a waste since she's been on SmackDown. I think they should consider moving her back to Raw. It just hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked out on SmackDown. She was flourishing on Raw, and then it was like last year's WrestleMania. She did the job to Bayley in the four-way elimination, I think it was. But moving her to SmackDown was such a bad idea. They just had her lose every time. They finally put the title on her, and I think it was in November or something like that. So, I mean, if it took like 7 months for them to finally put the title on her there, yeah, I just don't think it's working out. I think it's time to move Charlotte back to Raw. I personally think for Raw, the women, they should put either Bayley or Sasha. I probably would lean more towards putting Bayley on SmackDown. I don't want to see another Sasha Charlotte feud. I had enough of that.
That's enough.
That was rampant.
Going on way too long.
That was rampant from when the draft happened, when the brand splits happened again. That went on for up until probably like I want to say, I don't even remember what was the last pay-per-view, but enough. I mean, they're probably I would say send Sasha to SmackDown. If you want to put Bayley in a feud with Charlotte, then okay. Turn Charlotte heel again, maybe. Unless you want to change it, I don't really know. But Uh, who do you think? Who do you think wins?
Of course, Sasha.
No, between Asuka and Charlotte.
Oh,
Yeah. Who?
that's.
You have someone that has not lost, and then you have Ric Flair's daughter.
It's gonna be Ric Flair's daughter. That you already know.
Think so? You don't think they? You think they have Asuka's first loss be at the pinnacle of pinnacles?
Yep, I think they're going to pick Ric Flair's daughter to win her. Yes.
Although I will say it would be shocking to see Charlotte lose back-to-back years of WrestleMania after having a great performance 2 years ago. Next match is Raw's tag team titles between the champions Cesaro and Sheamus against Braun Strowman and a partner of his choosing. Now, nobody really knows. I've heard several different speculations on who his partner would be, whether it would be Elias. People said Big Show. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting if it was the Big Show, because, I mean, last time Big Show we saw him on television, he got put through the cage by Braun Strowman, and he's been out ever since. So that would be pretty interesting if it was the Big Show. I want to lean towards Elias, but if he's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, then I don't know. I don't see him doing double duty. So probably lean more likely on Big Show being his partner. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting, but I just wonder where that goes. I just wonder where that goes after that. But who do you pick? Do you think Cesaro and Sheamus overcome the Monster Among Men, and whoever his partner may be, maybe Big Show?
Big Show?
Think so? You think
Big Show? I love Big Show. That's my man.
You think Big Show and Braun are gonna? You think Big Show's his partner, and they definitely win the title?
Oh yeah, he's gonna slam him real good down inside of that ring.
I will say this: if it is Big Show, Big Show probably will. If it is Big Show probably won't put too much.
Show.
If it is Big Show, I don't think they'll put too much offense. At least Big Show won't put too much offense into the match. I think he'll do his normal stuff like he does, choke slam and knockout punch and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I see Braun Strowman being the one that gets the deciding fall. Probably hits like a running power slam on either Cesaro or Sheamus. I want to say more than likely probably Cesaro. And they'll win the tag team titles. New Raw tag team champions. Braun Strowman and the Big Show. Okay, and then we got SmackDown's tag team titles. This one's pretty interesting. You got Rikishi's sons, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy.
I like them now.
And then you got the New Day, Big E, Kofi Kingston, and or Xavier Woods, because obviously they're three-man, they're a trio. So one of them has to decide who's going to be the partner. Big E obviously is going to be one of them, but it's either going to be Kofi or Xavier. I preferably would like to see Kofi. I think he's a little bit better than Xavier, ring-wise. More athletic. He's definitely more entertaining. Not to say that Xavier's not entertaining. He is. He's pretty funny when he's out there with the rest of his team. And then you got the Bludgeon Brothers. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, the former Wyatt family members. They took them off TV for a while at the end of last year. They were giving them a new gimmick. They started playing vignettes a few months back that they're now the Bludgeon Brothers. So they revamped them. So now hopefully they're going to be a powerhouse team on SmackDown. I think SmackDown by far has the best teams. Raw lacks in the tag team spot.
Good. I used to love Raw.
SmackDown lacks in the women's.
Have a lot of good people.
SmackDown lacks in the women's competition, and Raw exceeds them. But SmackDown absolutely excels over Raw and tag teams. Absolutely. I think SmackDown's tag teams way better than Raw's tag teams. So I got the Bludgeon Brothers winning. I got the Bludgeon Brothers taking the titles off the Usos.
But I want Rikishi's sons to win.
I got the Bludgeon Brothers. It's just no. The Usos have been the champions for about, I don't even know how long. I want to say it's probably been 6-7 months, maybe longer than that. I don't see it. There's just no way. I think it's the Bludgeon Brothers' time. It just is. I think it's time now. Like, take the experiment deeper, put the titles on them, see how the crowd reacts, and go from there. Next match. We got Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey making her in-ring debut on the grandest stage of them all. I mean, we'd never seen anybody. WWE literally signed somebody, and then literally saved them for the biggest pay-per-view of the year, WrestleMania. They're going up against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, the COO and the commissioner of Monday Night Raw. Let's be honest, guys. This tag team match, it's only a tag team match because if Rousey begins to slip up in the ring, Kurt Angle and Triple H are going to be there to basically be the ring generals. They're going to take over if Rousey starts to slip up or get nervous. And who could blame her? It's her first match, and, she used to be a professional fighter, UFC, one of the baddest women on the planet. Mike Tyson was called the baddest man on the planet. She's the baddest woman on the planet. But I think that Angle and Triple H are really only in this match because if Stephanie can't guide Ronda through, or the nerves start kicking in on Ronda, and who could blame her? WrestleMania, it's a big stage. There's going to be over 100,000 people in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But that's what Kurt Angle and Triple H they're in there for. They're gonna be in there for if Ronda slips up. Ronda will tag out to Kurt. Triple H will step in. They'll go back and forth at it.
I was gonna say that's the match that I'm waiting for. Well, mainly because Triple H and Stephanie McMahon has been on wrestling for a very, very long time. It's been about over 20 plus years now. And I can tell you right now, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie, I like Stephanie McMahon. I like her better in her younger years, but and I like Triple H a lot in his younger years. But I don't think Stephanie's beaten that lady. You're talking about, what is it, UFC fighter? She's gonna get torn up.
And,
you know what I mean? She's gonna get torn up in the ring. I mean, it's gonna look bad. How old is Stephanie now?
40, I think 41. Yeah. I'm not really sure. I think she's 41.
Yeah, but she's gonna embarrass herself. I'd say that right now.
I mean, we all know. There's no way Stephanie's not gonna be. They're not gonna have Ronda Rousey get beat by Stephanie of all people.
She may get taken out in structures, to be honest.
I mean, we're making predictions on who wins these matches, but this will be the only match I say I will give a prediction on how it exactly ends.
Yeah.
It ends by Angle and Triple H, I believe, are going to get into a scuffle. They'll end up falling outside. And I think Stephanie's going to try to hit a pedigree on Ronda. Ronda's going to counter out of it, lock her in an armbar, and that's going to be it. Stephanie's going to tap out. Your winner's Kurt Angle, Ronda Rousey.
Or, no, there may be a twist. That match, she may have some cheaters come along and knock the referee out, of course. And then they gang up on poor UFC fighter. What's her name again? Ronda.
They're not gonna. They don't do stuff like that at WrestleMania unless it leads and makes sense in the storyline. If anything, if the ref gets knocked out, it'll probably be by either Triple H or Kurt Angle, probably falling back into the ref. Maybe
the referees when they finish beating up Ronda.
I say Stephanie goes for a pedigree, and then Ronda counters out of it with some magnificent finisher that's going to get the crowd, oohing and ahhing and all, because they never would have thought she would have pulled something like that off. And then she's going to lock in her signature armbar she did in UFC, made a lot of people tap out to. By Stephanie tapping out, and it's over. Rousey and Angle win the match.
If that does happen, what's going to happen is they're going to beat up Ronda bad while the referee's out, and then when the referee gets up out of the knockout, he's going to be sitting there all lazy like that, and they're going to have Stephanie McMahon's arm around her, and he's going to count 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 and everybody's going to be all upset, But I'm looking forward to this match here.
All right, so we got Raw's commissioner and WWE CEO in a match. Obviously, with the Raw GM, Kurt Angle, and then the new signing, obviously, Ronda Rousey. And then over on SmackDown, we got the GM and the commissioner. That's right. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon will be teaming up against the recently fired kayfabe, by the way. They're not really fired. We know that. The recently kayfabe fired Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where the stipulation is if Owens and Zayn win the match, they get their jobs back on SmackDown. But I think Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon win this match because, just like I said with why I thought Balor will win the title is because Rollins will be moving to SmackDown. I think Daniel Bryan and Shane win. Owens and Zayn remain fired from SmackDown. They'll get picked up on Raw either the night after WrestleMania to get the big pop. Everybody knows ever since WrestleMania 29, the crowds on Monday Night Raw, the nights after WrestleMania, the last 5 years have been insane. I don't think they haven't been any better since WrestleMania 29. I mean, I think that was like the biggest crowd, the New York, New Jersey crowd. By the way, WrestleMania 35, from what I heard, next year will be in New York, New Jersey. It'll probably be in MetLife again like it was WrestleMania 29. This one's not listed on here, but who are we kidding? There's no way they're going to tease this for weeks like they did. John Cena the last month and a half was saying about his road to WrestleMania and everything, and it's hard to believe that the guy that used to be the face that runs the place, AJ Styles,
yeah.
AJ Styles quote there. It's hard to believe John Cena's not going to be in a match at WrestleMania. I just don't believe that. But for weeks, John Cena's been calling out The Undertaker to do one more match. And as we all know, Undertaker, wrestled Roman Reigns last year. He did the job to him. Left a signature coat and hat and gloves in the ring, symboling that possibly that this was Undertaker's last ride. That Undertaker was really retired now. Undertaker, one of the most amazing WrestleMania performers of all time, hands down. He's the most successful gimmick character ever. Nobody can argue that. But people, from rumors I hear, people are saying Undertaker's going to come back as the American Badass gimmick. That's it. Remember that gimmick? I mean, for 3.5 years, Undertaker was riding around on a motorcycle, came out in a big leather trench coat and everything. And
do you think?
He changed it up eventually, and he had like the shorter hair.
Do you think
and stuff? And he's Big Evil.
Do you think that they're going to show a tribute to him this time?
I don't know about a tribute. They didn't do it last year. I think if anything, it's not really going to be like a real wrestling match. Like, it's not going to be in the ring. I think it's going to be a brawl. I think it's going to be something where John Cena's probably like sitting in the crowd or something at WrestleMania, and the Undertaker will come out and he'll accept John Cena's challenge. Because we all know this past Monday, everybody was rumoring, Undertaker's coming. He's going to accept John Cena's challenge at Raw. He didn't, obviously. He didn't show up. He didn't answer John Cena's challenge, so I highly doubt that WWE literally just sat there and teased everybody for weeks on end and just said, yeah, we're not going to have John Cena Undertaker. I personally don't want to see this match. Undertaker is my favorite of all time. When I started watching wrestling, I remember the first time I saw The Undertaker, I was like, that's one of my favorites, hands down.
When he first came out?
I've seen John Cena. I mean, look, I started watching wrestling almost 20 years ago. I saw John Cena when he first came out and accepted the challenge from Kurt Angle and all. And he told him his name, and he said ruthless aggression, and he slapped Kurt Angle across the face. That was a great debut match. It really was. But, I mean, as much as I love Cena and Taker, I don't want to see them in a match at WrestleMania. Not really. There's no point for it. Undertaker's pretty much retired. John Cena's on his way out the door. I mean, he's starting to just do movies and all now. He's basically now like a Brock Lesnar. He's like a part-timer. He's around more than Brock, obviously. But, John Cena's time's coming up, too. I mean, he's 41 now. He'll be 40. I think he'll be 41 this year. But his time's coming up. I mean, it's just as simple as that. There's no, I could see if like Undertaker was facing somebody young or something, like maybe like a Rollins or whatever, somewhere in that department, it would be understandable. But I mean, I just don't see them having Undertaker. They already had him lose twice. They're not going to have Undertaker lose back-to-back years. If it's even a match, it's just going to be a brawl, probably like in the back. It'll be like a street fight type thing, but a PG version of it. They can't go really over the top anymore. Things are different nowadays. So I think ultimately, if it's a brawl, I got Undertaker beating John Cena, and then he retires. Undertaker's 54 years old. I mean, he got to call it a day at some point. I love Undertaker, but
needs to retire.
I love the Undertaker, but I mean, I mean, just watching. I remember watching him last year in the Royal Rumble. He looked like he just couldn't. He looked like he just couldn't really go anymore. I mean, it just looked. I mean, I know he had hip surgery and everything, and all, but I mean, it's time to retire. I mean, Undertaker, you're 54 years old.
I was going to say this.
It's time to call it a day. I love the Undertaker.
With the Undertaker,
it's time to retire.
I mean, when he first came out back in the 90s, that was raw. I mean, I love the Undertaker, especially back in the 90s when his eyes used to roll up. I love that about him. You know what I mean? And I still love Undertaker, but I feel like it's getting played out now. I mean, every WrestleMania or certain pay-per-views, he comes and makes tribute. So I think they need to make something just a little bit different.
Undertaker's had pretty much the same, almost kind of like the same gimmick. It's just he's, kind of enhanced it, if you want to call it that. Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, that was a whole different. He came out with the Undertaker symbol and all, and he hung people on the symbol and all back in the day in the Attitude Era. Those are the great points of wrestling. That's when wrestling probably pulled in probably combined like a 20-something rating between Raw and Nitro. But leave in the comment section, people. Do you guys really want to see a Taker Cena WrestleMania match. I mean, I can't remember the last time those two had a one-on-one match. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, man. I think Undertaker was probably in, I want to say his late 30s, probably early 40s, probably the last time. I know the last match I can remember them being involved in was in, I think, 2008. They were like part of a team. It was like an 8-man tag match, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were on the same team with each other. But the last time they were on opposing sides was when the respective WrestleMania matches, Undertaker versus Batista and Cena versus Michaels in 2007. That was the last time they faced each other. It was a tag match, which John Cena pinned the Undertaker because Batista obviously turned on the Undertaker in the match and aided the victory. So John Cena beat the Undertaker that night. But last time, a one-on-one match, Undertaker beat John Cena, if I remember correctly. Last time it was a one-on-one match. But like I said, I don't expect it. It's not going to be no wrestling match. It's not going to be like last year when he was in the ring with Reigns. It's going to be a brawl. That's basically what it's going to be. Because, I mean, Undertaker, 54 years old. I mean, you got to remember, he's a giant. He stands like 6'10". He can't take bumps like he could anymore. Certain guys that, smaller guys and all, like the guys that were like Ric Flair and stuff could do that in their mid-50s and all, take like those backdrops and everything and have no problem in the world. But, I mean, Undertaker, he's a giant. I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And, I mean, it's just people like him in the Big Show. When you get older and all, you just can't take those falls like you used to. Mm-hmm. You're younger, yeah, you can get away with that. But now, I mean, Undertaker 54 years old. I don't want to see Undertaker get like carted out of WrestleMania. That'd be an embarrassing way to go out.
Yeah, but you'll see me laughing in the room.
Okay, but we got that one out of the way. Now we're on to the final two matches.
Oh boy!
And I definitely believe the one is the main event. But we'll go with the SmackDown one first. The SmackDown WWE Championship between AJ Styles and the Royal Rumble winner Shinsuke Nakamura. I got AJ Styles winning this match because I don't think WWE's going to put... Shinsuke Nakamura's not over enough. They're not going to put the world title on this guy. There's no way that they could have him on Good Morning America with that broken English and everything. He's a great wrestler. I'm not going to take that away from him, but I just don't see WWE putting the belt on this guy, and then he's going to go around, on news stations and Good Morning Americas and stuff like that and do interviews. There's just no way. It's just not going to happen. So I think between both, because, I mean, how interesting was that this year? The two Japanese wrestlers won their respective Royal Rumbles. But there's no way both of them are winning the title. That's why I have Asuka winning the women's title, and then AJ's going to upset Shinsuke. That's going to be a great match. I'm honestly picking that to be the best match on the card. But that's what I got AJ Styles winning the match, without a doubt. There's just no way.
I don't know. All I know is I'm waiting for the Stephanie McMahon match and the Kurt Angle.
You got to pick your.
That's
you got to
like
pick
my
your winner.
biggest one.
You got to pick your.
For which one? For this match here?
For the Styles Nakamura match.
Oh,
Yeah, who wins and why? Does AJ retain the title or does Nakamura win the title?
That's a really hard one. But I want AJ Styles to win.
I got AJ Styles winning too. I don't see Nakamura's not over enough to get the title.
Yeah.
If Balor's not going to get the Universal title on Raw, then Nakamura's not going to get the WWE title on SmackDown. There's just no way.
Yeah, I like.
And
but I'm sorry, but it's nothing compared to like.
It'll be a great match. It'll be a great match. I think that match honestly is going to steal the show. I'd be shocked if that match went like bad, like botches and everything left and right. I'd be shocked because I mean these two had a real good match like 2 years ago when they were in New Japan before they came to WWE. They had a real good match in New Japan. I mean obviously WWE's gonna water down that match. They're not gonna do what they did in Japan. Japan's different and everything. New Japan let them do whatever they wanted. WWE's not gonna do that. But that's obviously for good reason because they don't want their guys getting hurt doing some crazy moving on. I mean, if this would have been like 15 years ago, then yeah, they probably would have let them do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to happen this time around. It's still going to be a good match. I think it's still going to be a 4.5, 5-star match.
Which matches have they gotten rid of so far? Like on there, like as far as
mostly hardcore matches, stuff like that. You don't really see weapon. I mean, when you see chair shots nowadays in wrestling, it's always to the back or the side. It's never you can't do the head no more. The concussions and everything, and even in sports and all, like even football and all, concussions are a big deal.
I don't even see them do the ladder matches anymore, really.
Not really. Not as much. Not as frequent anymore. There's not like. I mean, I don't think they do them anymore because there's just not really any. There's not really any teams. I don't think that really grabs everybody's interest at one time. like back in the Attitude Era, we had the Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. I mean, there was endless teams. I mean, even when you threw two random guys, like I remember when they threw Benoit and Jericho together. Yeah. That I was interested in that. I thought it was funny. You got two guys with the name Chris teaming with each other, two Canadians, Benoit and Jericho. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like New Day and stuff, but I mean, I think it's a different time now. It's just not the same anymore.
I don't know. I think that this is just my opinion. I think that wrestling was a really good entertainment, I could say, and for its time and era back in the 90s and, like 2000s and stuff. And then I don't know, like once they started taking out all of the special matches, they used to have mud matches, fire matches, remember, with Kane and Undertaker. Those were like the good times. They used to have graveyard matches, casket matches.
Yeah,
don't see it no more anymore. You know what I mean?
Like
you don't see that anymore on there. So I feel like, people say the ratings have gone up more, but I don't know. I think that the ratings went down, just my opinion, as far as like with the matches. Okay. I mean, it's just, I guess it's good for the generation of kids now, like they watch it now because that's all they know. But when you've seen like better matches and you've seen wrestlers who are more entertaining and they put more into it, like even those little skits they have, they don't even look like they put into too much on. That's just the way I feel when I see it sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I am looking forward to seeing Triple H and Stephanie McMahon because they're like longtime wrestlers. Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, and AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, and I want to see that UFC fighter woman. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them. It's going to be a lot. And the Big Show, I forgot about him. You can't forget him.
And last but not least, the last match on the card for the night is the WWE Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar, the champion, who's been champion since last WrestleMania, beating Goldberg for the title, versus Roman Reigns. I got Roman Reigns winning this match because Brock's contract's coming up in August, I believe. That's when he's leaving. WWE has already said they're not going to re-sign him. And Brock's already been rumored to possibly go back to UFC. And then Heyman cut an interesting promo on Raw where he said you will never see him and Brock on together after Raw ever again. I've heard the rumors. I mean, this happened 3 years ago, like Heyman's going to turn on Brock for Roman Reigns. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that something will happen in that match, like big. They had, their match was pretty good. We watched it with a friend when they had that match, but it never really got to end because Rollins, who was the Money in the Bank winner at the time, he came in and cashed in and pinned Reigns to win the title. So we never really saw an ending for that match. So now we'll finally get to see that ending between a Brock and Reigns singles match. I have Reigns winning the title. This is Reigns' 4th WrestleMania. I know a lot of fans can't. I don't know why they can't stand Roman Reigns. They feel like, he's been shoved down our throat and stuff. It's like the John Cena treatment. People hate John Cena for that reason. But I don't see it that way. You guys are getting mad at the wrong guy. What's the guy supposed to do? Like, I got this big opportunity to win the title at WrestleMania and put on a great show, the main event match. What is he supposed to say? No, just put me on the pre-show.
Well, with John Cena, I don't know. I liked him back then when he used to do like the little rapping and they had him like with the pants and everything.
The Doctor of Thugonomics.
Yeah, I liked when his character was like that. Now they make him out to be like some kind of punk or something on there. Well, there was one time they had him being chased or something in a ring by some guy.
He basically dresses the same. Just take away the sports memorabilia, throwback jerseys, and the hats. He just now just custom T-shirts and stuff, and just no rapping. That's about it. It's just tweaked.
I think his character was more interesting before.
It was, but WWE decided to go in another direction. They went PG and everything like they can. That's why they can't do as much anymore as they used to. Can't get away with as much as they used to. But that's well, who do you have? You didn't say who you have. Do you have Brock or do you have Roman winning?
Brock Lesnar.
You got Brock winning?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar is my man.
I like Brock, but it's oversaturated. The guy comes and goes. He works when he wants to. He's there. He's a part-timer. He's there when he wants to be. Brock doesn't win. No way. Reigns is taking the title. That'd be shocking. Besides, if both Nakamura and Asuka won the titles, that'd be shocking if they had Brock win, because Brock's leaving. And we know.
Leaving? I didn't know that.
His contract's up in August. He's gone. He's not going to be around much longer. He doesn't make many appearances. He doesn't make many appearances anyway. He makes like about 30. I know he's done some live events recently, but I mean, on actual TV, not really much. He's around once in a while.
That's gonna suck.
Part-timer. It's whatever. I like Brock, but no way. I have Reigns winning the title.
Well.
So, leave down in the comment section below, people. Who do you think wins every one of the matches we just listed off? Who do you think wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Who do you think wins the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal? Who do you think wins the Raw Women's Championship? Who do you think wins the SmackDown Women's Championship? Who wins the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team title matches?
Yeah.
Who wins the Intercontinental title? Who wins the US title? Who wins the WWE title? Who wins the Universal title? Who wins between Rousey? You know, they got the shirts out. Rousey versus McMahon.
Yeah.
I got Ronda Rousey winning that one, so I don't know. I'm interested to see your comments.
All right.
Who do you guys got winning between the on SmackDown between Owens and Zayn against Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan?
Well, leave a comment and let us know what your opinions are and predictions with this whole WrestleMania tomorrow night. So, again, YouTube, take care. Until next time, everybody. Have a good night.
also, too, when you pick your winner,
we're not finished yet.
Also, when you pick your winner, too, leave down a little small, description on why you think they win.
Yes.
All right, everybody, peace.